All right, Sam, let's wrap up with a few more fun stories, although I feel like we've done a lot of that today, which is good. So which one would you like to start first with? Dr. Oz announcing that, so he announced on 30th of November his candidacy for the Republican nomination of the US Senate seat in Pennsylvania. Any thoughts, comments?
It was a tragic day for all the Turks. As a Turk, I apologize for this man, for existence of this man, and I don't know. As a somebody who is proudly has some Turkish roots, and by the way, you do too, and I think you should apologize too. We all apologize. We want to say we don't really know this guy. We don't know where he came from. Just what the hell, man. But yeah, no.
But I told you I have a little bias for him, and he doesn't piss me off, just like I told you yesterday, but you put me in my place. He doesn't piss me off as much as Ellen DeGeneres and Dr. Phil. But
I think you're, first of all, I don't know why you put Ellen DeGeneres there, because Ellen DeGeneres is a host, like, show person.
Like, they do the same thing. They serve the same audiences for the same purposes and the same kind of thing. They entertain the same kind of group of people around the same time on the same channels. That's why I kind of put them together.
Look, no, Ellen is a talk show host and a comedian, and she has had some good comedy in my view in the past.
Yeah, just recently she pissed me off.
Yes. I know she hugged George Bush or something. I don't know.
Not even that, even more.
Yeah, but she's not like, she never claimed to be a doctor. You know, Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz.
Right.
Dr. Oz is actually, and what puts, in my view, what makes Dr. Oz far worse than Dr. Phil or Jeremy Kyle or Jerry Springer or that type of thing, is that he does with medicine. He peddles. He's a snake's oil salesman. He's a snake's oil salesman. That's all he is. Nothing more. And then, Jesus Christ, it's so sad that it's just people like him rise up. And it's quite funny that he says, I read that somewhere, he said that he's been influenced by mysticism, because he says he's a Muslim, and he's been influenced by the mysticism of Sufis. And yeah, mysticism of Sufis is exactly the same bullshit that he peddles. So it completely makes sense, that, he would be into mysticism and Sufis and all that. Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know he goes out and...
just the old version of the same crap. But yeah, it was a very sad day, I think, for humanity as a whole.
I don't know, not the saddest ones Trump, for me that I've seen. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the craziest.
It was funny.
Yeah, it wasn't the craziest one. And my bias comes from the fact, like I told you, once I saw him like 5, 7, or 8 years ago have a segment on vegan diets. So I was like, you get my stamp of approval. But I remember too, he was pushing like the juices and kind of things. Like it was that kind of thing. So I didn't even agree fully, but I remember I was like, okay, nice. But if not, you're totally right, and I stand corrected. And Ellen DeGeneres, she pissed me off really when she, like, Corona happened at first, and there was like the lockdown, and she was in her house.
Mansion.
Yeah, and she made it seem like, exactly like it's the end of the world for you. Just shut up and sit in your house for 2 minutes. You're doing your show, and it was just like, it's so hard being at home. She wasn't anti-lockdown, of course. That wasn't her thing. It was just that, it's hard for me to.
No, I definitely agree with you all on that. But I think somebody who's a physician and uses that authority to do what he does, it's just, this is the lowest of the low. Although, I mean, we are all grifters in life, so I suppose he's a more successful grifter.
And I believe, was it Brianna who had the segment on him? Yeah, and it was really good, and it was really like level-headed, and they didn't, blow it out of proportion or make it seem like, oh, he's gonna get crushed for sure because he's anti this and that, or like, no, I doubt the science kind of thing will work against him and stuff. And they gave him a fair chance and everything. And I thought it was really good analysis, fair analysis that they gave. So if somebody hasn't checked it out, do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was That was
Yeah.
that was
Because I was scared they're
I
gonna
mean,
blow it out of proportion. I was scared it's gonna be like
yeah.
the end of the world doomsday kind of thing, and it wasn't.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. And I'm hoping at least it leads to. I'm hoping his campaign for Senate leads to some, great comedic material for all people around.
Sure.
So hopefully that happens. That's
But
you have, there are positive
no,
things happening.
100%, 100% agree with you there. But exactly on that point, they pointed out something good. They were like, this guy's on TV all the time, so don't think that you can't have got you moments with him and get him forgotten. He's not going to fall into traps that easily because of his broadcasting experience and all that. So you reminded me of that.
That's true. And yeah, I don't know. I think he's got the Trump factor going. Sort of, people have seen him so much that they feel they know him, and just sort of trust him for. I don't know. We'll see.
For sure.
We'll see. I mean, maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion now. Yes.
And no, not at all. And I think he can also please to some moderates. I wouldn't be surprised, like moderate Republicans or even kind of Democrat kind of thing. Like, because I said, like a lot of Democrat leaning people, I don't have data to back this up, but I think they watch.
Yeah, man, he's been on Oprah. He's been on Oprah. Oprah has given. He's one of the best bits. I think. Who said that? Was it on Bad Face? Well, he's part of the Oprah's extended universe. It's like Marvel's extended universe. You got all these people like Oprah made famous, Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, and then they go do their own shows. Yeah, he's part of. He's got some Democrats voting with him.
What else do we have? Matt Taibbi and Useful Idiot showed this clip of Chuck Todd.
Now have chosen not to get the vaccine. But what the biggest impact to be right now is to get boosters into seniors. That's what's going to stop hospitalizations and stop deaths. If you're a senior citizen and haven't got your booster yet, shame on you. Please go do that. If you have underlying health care conditions, if you're diabetic, if you're overweight, please go get the booster, because you're going to get the virus, be exposed to it. I'll guarantee it. And if you don't have that booster, we know the vaccines kind of run out after about 5 to 6 months. Natural immunity would help. And even those with natural immunity may want to consider getting the booster as well. But I think being honest with America is the plan. We know that mandates don't work. From a practical standpoint, mandates are going to cause an economic shutdown. It's going to exacerbate inflation. It's going to cause brownouts. It's going to cause supply chain disruptions and national security issues. Think about this. Half of the National Guard is not vaccinated yet. What would be happening in Kentucky right now if we shut down half of the National Guard? I support the vaccines, but not the mandates.
You said something interesting. You said if senior citizens haven't gotten that booster, shame on you. Is that your attitude for any unvaccinated person in the hospital right now? Because 80% of hospitalizations at a minimum.
Where he had the most reasonable Republican I've ever seen in my in my life on his show. Yeah. He was like, everything that he was saying was just so good. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. He was just talking about, go get vaccinated, but mandates don't work and they backfire, and let's be honest and stuff. So for a politician, Republican, but then he made, I think Matt Taibbi and Katie were a bit like, Matt Taibbi dismissed this comment a bit too much. It was just, he gave Chuck Todd a bit too much, because he said, if you're an elderly and you're at the hospital and you got COVID and you're not vaxxed and stuff, shame on you.
No. He didn't say if you're in hospital. He said if you're elderly and you could have gotten vaccinated and haven't gotten vaccinated. Yeah. No, man. Look, I think the shame on you bit was too much, and it was politician talk and all that. But Chuck Todd is such a dick. He's such a dick. It's like, arguing with someone about a topic, and they ignore the actual topic and say, oh, when you said that bad word, would you say that bad word about that other thing? It's just, it's that kid in the school, in the class that, teacher, his answer was exactly not, the exact wording of the book. I really feel, I never felt this level of like, I feel that constantly. What am I saying?
No, but you're spot on. That was the thing, right? He just he makes this overall argument and case. And then, as I did say, the slip up was a bit of this big kind of, I don't know, he like slipped up with 3 words. He said the shame, and then he said on, and then he said the you. So it wasn't just like one word in there. I don't know. So I think he made a bit
Technically,
of
you're right. Yes.
it was a bit too much of a, I don't know, mistake. But yeah, then that fucking Chuck Todd. But I love how I don't know any of these MSNBC people at all, because I never really watched them. CNN, I was always exposed to it a lot, but these guys, I barely know them, and I think I'm better off.
Yeah, but I'm really Monday morning, which is one of the best puns I think on YouTube. I love that show on Useful Idiots. They're so good. They're so good. It's funny, kind of informative, I guess. If it, so and I wanted to do a bit of a highlight, if it's okay, at the end of our show.
Please. I don't specifically have anything else to really mention, so unless you do. If no, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I wanted to first say, I know some people got like, because I said I hate philosophers and all that. So, I am generalizing, I mean like mostly philosophy students. But in my own defense, I would say, I think in my defense, like David Hume, if you ever read his works, pretty much reduced philosophy, in my view, to a joke. And since then, we have all these social scientific branches that, in my view, perform the task of philosophy far better than philosophy ever could. So, but I am, of course, generalizing. There are people who are technically philosophers that I really like Cornel West, blah, blah. But yeah, I am somewhat hostile to philosophy as a discipline, because it's a very imprecise and unclear discipline. And in my view, it is somewhat archaic at this point. And Freud, by the way, had, I think, similar views. And by the way, most philosophers don't like Freud as well. And I just wanted to quote this from Freud, that Freud suggested to his audience that psychoanalytic theory can expect nothing from philosophy except that it will once again haughtily point out to us the intellectual inferiority of Aristotle. So, and I do feel like a lot of philosophy is that they look at more sophisticated social sciences, and then they do these thought experiments and do these mind palace games, and get away from real issues. So that was my sort of justification for my general and somewhat idiotic comments.
No, I think it was decent, not too bad. And I don't really have, I mean, not the craziest. And yes, it was a bit of generalization. Like I told you, if we said the same thing about economists, nobody would be at our throats. But
oh yeah, lawyers.
We said philosopher. But I mean, I wasn't never too big into philosophy at all, even in university. But political philosophy classes were some of my absolute favorite. And I received them in the beginning of my like politicizing process. So, the ones where they start with Plato and all this, and they move up, through like the century, through like, the 10th century and all this, talk about those guys, and then reach Hobbes and John Locke and all these kind of things. I really used to enjoy those classes, and it leads to Marx and stuff. But that's political philosophy, which I would argue is different, and they don't do too many thought experiments. I mean, Plato, of course, he did, but that was 2000 years ago.
By the way,
or whatever. When was Plato? Did I just talk crap? Was he? when is that? From when is Plato and Socrates? And
my view has always been, I like Socrates. I mean, Socrates is we are not even sure if it was a historical figure, but I have always despised Plato, Platonic thought, Neoplatonic philosophy. It's my personal position. Nietzsche, in my view, was of the same position, and I think Plato and his metaphysics are responsible for more harm in this world than probably than most religions. But of course, there are a lot of good things in Plato as well, or a lot of things that could be built on. But I am far more, but sorry about that tangent. It's just you mentioned Plato, I had to express my objections.
No, I mean, I
but,
was never a huge Plato guy, but I mean, it started with that. I mean, I like the political philosophy that followed after that in those classes.
I think it's such a tragedy that there are two people who write about Socrates. It's Plato and Xenophon, and it's such a tragedy that Plato became the more popular one. Xenophon's writing, in my view, were far better, far superior.
I'm not even familiar with him.
Yeah, nobody's. So there is about 5 guys, and they're it's me, Xenophon's cousin. And Thomas Jefferson, actually, apparently was a fan. So